Assalamu alaikum. That means, may God's peace be unto you and who you represent. Welcome to another program called Words Make People. A word is anything that brings a message to your mind. Thank you for tuning in today. Today, April the 9th, 2024. Here we are today, the day after they called the eclipse. We're here in the studios today with a special guest today. But before I get to that special guest, and I want to really make sure that we get to her because we only have less than 28 minutes right now, just to let you know, pray for all those that don't have as much as you have. Always pray for those things that you know that cause for you to be the good person you are, and how the Creator is merciful, and how the Creator forgives, and how the Creator allows for us to be able to come back and repent so that we can submit and surrender to be a servant to Him and Him only, not to them, not to it, not to the bottle, not to the him, not to anything else, but to Him, the Creator. So, most importantly, we want to make sure this year you're registered to vote, and you want to make sure you go vote with someone else with you, and you're going to help get others to vote as well. And if you don't know why this year is not best, because there are those that want to take us back to a place that was very uncomfortable for our ancestors. Be assured of that. And I know the young people today ain't going for it, believe me. But we don't want that to happen. We're going to be able to get out there and let people know that this republic that we're in America, our country, America, that's right, I said our country, America. I know where we came from. I'm not getting it mixed up. Don't go there. Is a democratic process. And it's the people that say this is what we want. We're learning how to put people in office that will be there for our purpose, for our goal. To do what? To service humanity. Not to service African Americans, not to service Europeans, not to service Caucasians, not to service the Italians, the Greeks, or whatever, but to service humanity in the laws that allow for us to be able to benefit from. So, that being said, today, here we are with our beloved sister, Annette Brown. She just established a Parents of Angel Children, an organization called Parents of Angel Children. She just established it in January 2024. And she's going to be sharing with us because she can talk. I just had her on my radio show this past Sunday, and she's going to go in because we got less the time we had on the radio show, which was an hour, 58 minutes, than now, 28 minutes. So I'm going to leave it primarily to her to share with us the significance of her book, but more importantly, the significance of what happened to her that caused for her to say that God has a plan for her. And she's been living that plan after going through what she's been through in life.
Hi,
Annette.
Thank you for having me, Brother Qaadir.
You're welcome.
All right. So Parents of Angel Children was founded in January of this year. I am a mother of a murdered son. My son, Wayne Best, was murdered December 9th of 2014 in Schenectady. When I lost my son, there wasn't too many places that I can go that people would understand. I was referred to therapy, to a psychiatrist, medications, and that seemed to make things worse. So I started this organization for parents, both mothers and fathers, to have a safe place to come where they are understood, because I'm a parent of a murdered child, so I understand what it is to lose a child. Mm-hmm. What we do at Parents of Angel Children, we provide referral services for parents that may need more than just the weekly support group that we do via Zoom every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Our support group is open for all parents who've lost a child under any circumstances: homicide, suicide, illnesses, overdoses, under any circumstances. Currently, Parents of Angel Children we've grown since January. We've grown. We have family in Canada, Alaska, of course, New York State. That's where we are, and that's where I lost my son. New Jersey, Westchester County, Ohio. We are growing to where we are becoming international with our support group. For more information on how to join our support group, our Facebook page, Parents of Angel Children, or you can go through our website of parentsofangelchildren.com, or you can reach out to me directly through email, parentsofangelchildren@gmail.com. So right now, and we also, what we do is a quarterly event that is open to the public. We are always looking for volunteers, sponsors, donors, sponsorship, once again, because we do provide complimentary grief journal writing books for our parents.
Excellent.
And we are working on developing a 12-step grief journal workbook for our parents to learn how to, journal and write and get through their grief. Because I know, it's a daily process. Some days are better than others, but our motto in our group name is "You're Not Alone." And our motto is, today, maybe every day may not be a good day, but we make sure that every day is not a bad day.
Excellent.
Okay?
Very good, very good. And so, this is important that Annette doesn't want people to grieve, knowing how she was grieving. And she was grieving alone many times, going through this whole process, seeing a therapist, and knowing the lifestyle you came from. You didn't want this to happen to other people. You wanted to be able to share and to be in a better position to assist other people to not to go through this traumatical experience and have to go through this process where they're going to be labeled as mental health people needing assistance, so forth and so on. And so you recognize that you were, as you stated, dealt a hand. And this hand that you were dealt was a hand that caused for you to get up and do something about it. And you began to say, okay, yeah, there's others out there grieving as well too. And I wouldn't want anybody else to go through what I'm going through right now, knowing how my son passed, how he was killed. And so there are so many others that's out there, as you hear on a regular basis, those that's being shot and killed, innocent people being shot and killed, babies being shot and killed. And so these are the things that you want to be able to do. And you got courageous and was able to stand up and was able to move forward to want to help and assist by establishing an organization that would help other individuals not to go through what you were going through, even though you still are going through certain things, because there are reflections in time, I'm quite sure, there are remembrances, birthdays, and things that you had with your son, And so we really, really appreciate this opportunity to have someone like yourself here with us.
Thank you.
And be able to share, and this is not going to be your last time either.
Okay.
Because you mentioned to me when you said you saw our president, Aprecia, at the program we just had, where we have an opportunity for drug prevention and crime prevention. Our president, Aprecia, who is the producer here at this studio here as well too. And so you were able to see and say, wow, this is really, really powerful, And then when you saw me, you said, Brother Qaadir, do you remember me? You interviewed me about 10 years ago.
Long time ago, yeah.
Long time ago, And so I said, well, we got to get you to interview you again to see where you were, because you left here, you had to go and take care of some personal family business for a period of time. And so we want to be able to let people know that you're back.
I'm
and
back.
That you're here, and that you have a fervor, you have a good spirit, and a spirit of wanting to get up in the morning at 6 a.m. and have a prayer council with all those that need to get up and recognize the significance of the Creator and how we can help others before they go through what you've been through. So please share with us about your book as well too, because that's very, very important. Because one of the most significant things that you mentioned to me about your book was when you were interviewed by Channel 10, I believe it was, and the lady asked you, why did you go in and tell all that you said? And so you were like shocked, because you really went in and shared the most important things that were very, very significant for a person to hear on how not to allow for them to grieve by themselves.
Okay. Well, when I interviewed on Channel 10 with Elaine Houston, she said her exact words, why didn't I hold anything back? So through my grief process, I tell the parents that's in my group, because I have men and women, to write. I encourage them to write because it helped me get through my process of grief. Everything, all the baggage that was on me, I wrote. So I self-published April of 2022, The Hand I Was Dealt by Annette Brown, and it talks about, it's my memoirs from childhood up until the loss of my son and how I got through. And my book was written to inspire other people who are in dark places that they can overcome. Because if you read this book, and it's also on Amazon, The Hand I Was Dealt by Annette Brown. Book 2, The Hand I Was Dealt by Annette Brown, The Winning Hand, is also on Amazon. It was written to not hold anything back, to let people know that, hey, when you look at me, and then if you read the book, you'll come back and say, that's not the lady in that book. You're not talking about the lady that's in that book. It can't be.
Show them that book again.
I'm a walking miracle. The Hand I Was Dealt by Annette Brown. You can reach out to me via email and get autographed copies, or you can go straight to Amazon. The cover on Amazon has changed because book 2 is published as well. But it's what the contents inside is what's important. My struggles, I won't tell you. Buy the book or reach out to me. But for the parents, when Wayne was murdered 10 years ago, and Wayne would be 35 years old on the 17th of this month.
And how did he get murdered? What happened?
Schenectady, robbed, followed from winning money shooting pool, and they killed him in front of his house. I was in North Carolina taking care of my parents and raising my young children when my firstborn son was murdered here. So, every story is a little different, but I know that he was murdered in front of his home on December 9th of 2014. The darkest time in my life. I didn't think I was going to come out of it. I attempted suicide. 3 days later, I woke up and I was angry at God. Do you really expect me to live with this? And silently, I heard him say, yeah, I do. Because I have an assignment for you.
Right.
And Parents of Angel Children is here for all parents. Like I said, I don't know, this family, I do a lot on social media. So what we're doing, the Facebook group, Parents of Angel Children, everything that we do, you would find out there. We do quarterly events to bring the community together, to have a safe place to come, to bring smiles to people's face. We just did a sip and paint Saturday the 6th, which turned out really beautiful on Colvin Avenue in Albany, New York. We're doing a Mother's Day brunch in North Carolina next month for Mother's Day. And prayerfully, we're doing a Relax and Restore retreat in Marietta, Georgia in June, and then our quarterly event again here in July in Albany. And we're looking for sponsorship. No business runs freely. We pay for the literature that we send out. Everything comes from me right now. We are looking for people who are educated and already know how to start and run a successful organization. Because there's a big need. People are losing their children. One of my parents she lost her child to 11-year-old, had a heart attack. He was standing in front of his mom and said, "Mom, my chest hurts. I can't breathe. And he died in front of her. So parents are losing their children in magnitudes, the numbers and the circumstances. Like my circumstances may be different from yours. Wayne was murdered. We have a lot of that, the black on black crime, the police. Parents are suffering. And we are here to let parents know that you are not alone.
That's right. Well, you said it correctly. You said, there are many of those that say, we're going to blame God. Why, God, did you allow this to happen to me? Because parents do believe that they're supposed to leave here before their child leaves here. But then you said, wait a minute, hold up, I can't blame God. I have to be able to do something. And what I'm going to do is understand why God have allowed for this to happen. Everything God allows to happen, it happens for a good reason. And some may say, that can't be a good reason God took my child away from me. And as you stated, you came up with the terminology of saying, then, what is it that God wants me to do? I have been dealt a hand. And the hand you have been dealt is because you have the spirit, and I hear it coming out of you right now, whatever way you speak, because you have an experience that others don't have, that you can be able to influence and inspire on how to help stop the violence, on how to help stop the criminality, on how to understand how we can get to where we have to go. And you have that in you, wherever you got it from, you know where you got it from. And no one else can tell you where you didn't get it from. So you must have a history of knowing how to go about making sure you get what's necessary to make sure others don't suffer in the lifestyle that they're going through as you open up with this grieving and going through trauma and not doing a personal psychological evaluation on their own selves. You did that. You said you couldn't handle going to psychologists and sociologists and going through that whole process. You had to what? You had to go take an initiative on your own and come up with something to do and say, wow, I'm going to do that. And that's what you did. And here you are now speaking real passionately about what's necessary and encouraging others to get involved and just don't stay idle, suffering for the rest of your life. That's not what God wants you to do. Help others don't go through what you went through and what others are going through. So we don't have much time. We've got about 10 minutes left. So please, you want to roll, and I really appreciate it.
All right. So once again, if you are a parent of an angel child and you lost a child, I encourage you to reach out to us. Once again, it's parentsofangelchildren.com, and there's a contact form that you will fill out, and we do get back to you in a timely manner. Or you can just email us directly at parentsofangelchildren@gmail.com. Our Facebook group, I was told that there's 2 Parents of Angel Children, so we're the one with the purple brochure as our profile picture. You do have to request to join. There's a questionnaire, did you lose a child? But I encourage you to join us because when I think back 10 years ago, which this year is the 10th anniversary of the loss of my child, I wish there was a place for me to go where people understood me, where I was able to cry, scream, laugh without being judged or without, where I'm understood.
Yes.
But we have that now with POAC. That's what we call our organization, Parents of Angel Children, POAC. So you're going to be seeing POAC around a lot.
Beautiful.
We're not stopping. If you have an organization that does similar to what we do, you can bet on it that you'll be hearing from me soon too, because I'm coming. We need support. Parents, they should not be sitting. Right. I had one of my parents, I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm in the pub every day. This is a father. I said, no, you have to pick up the pen and put down the pub because writing is so therapeutic. When I finished and published my book, this weight came off of me, and then I had the vision of, okay, what we going to do next?
Yes.
And that's how we started this organization that is going international with helping parents.
Beautiful.
So once again, each Saturday, 10 a.m.
Well, when you say pick up the pen, you must have some experience. You must have a PhD. And a PhD is proper human development.
Yeah.
And that proper human development, from your experience in life and what you've done, must have allowed for you to say, I'm going to do a book. Because many people don't think about doing a book because they think it's complicated. They think it's a big goal. No, but you have a book here that you're sharing your life experiences and your knowledge that you possess, that no one else possesses but you. And you're going to put it on paper and start putting it down there and giving it up the way you're supposed to give it up so people can understand it. That means where the goat can get it, where it's real clear. In all these different terminologies that people can't understand, and they say, what is this woman talking about? Where's she from? She came from the same place we come from. She looked like me and everything else, but she's talking like them. No, when you start putting it in language, as I went through your book and saw the table of content, and you spoke about those that mothers that allow their child to be molested by men in the household and all these other categories and things of this nature. These are very, very important, very significant. It causes for a lot of things to happen besides just the gun violence and the criminality. The criminality, to a large degree, as you stated, that I understand, it starts in the home. And it starts in the mindset of people that allow for certain things to happen and take place. We got 8 minutes left. Steve, please go on.
Okay. So it does, like Brother Qaadir said, it does start at home. When I wrote my book, and I put my heart into it, it's because I want people to know that they don't have to suffer. Just like our organization, Parents of Angel Children, and our support group, you're not alone. People need to know that they're not alone. You know, sometimes our brother Qaadir said we don't want people to grieve for the rest of their lives. Unfortunately, we are going to have parents that are going to grieve for the rest of their life, because this is the absolute hardest thing that any parent can ever live with. But I'm here to let you know that you're not alone. Our support group, each and every one of the parents in that group, the circumstances may be different, but the reality is they'll never hear their child's voice again. They'll never be able to hug their child again. I have one parent that, you know, I watch her Facebook post, and it's always something so dark. I'm ready to come see you. Oh, so suicidal. And it's like we're working. She's a work in progress. She's going to be one of our success stories where she's going to be able to help the next parent that comes along.
Yes.
So, you know, and when I question God, why me, why me, why me, I don't question that anymore, because I know that my purpose here is to help other people. And I mean, my book, it tells you about surviving childhood traumas and surviving drug addiction, to surviving mental illness and dealing with the grief and the loss of a child. And in my story, I mean, I lost my father, my son the same year, and then my mother right after that. So dealing with grief, I love what he said. I have a PhD. I might put those initials behind my name from now on, because, you know, I lived it and I walked it. I didn't get this knowledge from some college, even though I am educated and have degrees. I got this from living it and life experiences and the hand that I was dealt.
Yes.
So I'm here to support and anyone that is in need, especially the parents. And once again, please go to our website, parentsofangelchildren.com. You can click on the donate button, make a donation so that we can buy books and journals so parents can have a source for them to journal through their grief. Because I didn't think, you know, when they used to say, oh, write it down, journal it, I used to think that writing, that's not going to get me anywhere. And I remember Oprah saying journaling is the most important thing that you can ever do. And until I started doing it and I actually published a book, then I know what a relief it is and how important it is to journal and to write. So we do need your help. We do need sponsorship, donors. And once again, the first Saturday in July, Albany, New York, and the surrounding areas, we will be doing a community cookout. So you'll get more information if you join our Facebook group, Parents of Angel Children. All the information will be out there. All the other organizations that I'm familiar with in the Capital Region, I'll be reaching out to them as well. Everybody come on out, pop up a table, bring out your grill. Let's feed the children in the community. Because sometimes, you know, when I think about doing something in the summertime, you know, some children, the only time they get a meal is when school is going. So, you know, we chose July to feed the community because that may fill a child's stomach for that day. So it's one day at a time, sometime 1 minute at a time. We do what we can to bring a smile on other people's face. So Parents of Angel Children is just not for the parents, it's for the community. So if you want to donate, volunteer, come out, ask questions, show your support, please reach out to us. We are here.
Excellent. So in brief, for our last 3 minutes here right now, please share with us and share with the listening audience, what advice do you have for those parents that know that their child's involved with guns or maybe involved with criminality or doing certain things that they shouldn't be doing to make cause for a death of another child, neighbor, across the street, or in the same building?
You got to raise your kids right. I mean, when they're 16, 17, 18, you've already instilled in them. But there is hope. There's programs out here. I had a troubled young child, and he's 27 years old now, the best young man ever. Sometimes we may need to ask for help through the agencies around us, through the court systems. Keep your child, you know, today's children are a little bit different from when I raised mine, when I was a single mom raising my two youngest children. But there are places out there. They have Pastor has the gym, the First Street here in Albany, the community center. You gotta be involved in what your children are doing. You need to know. I mean, I'm that parent that ain't no child gonna be in my house and I don't know what you're doing, who you're hanging out with. It's up to the parents to get involved. And you know, we can't blame the kid because the kid is only gonna do what their parent allows them to do.
That's right.
I was so hard on my son and my daughter, but you know what? They're 26 and 27 years old now. They're respectful members of society. They're taxpayers.
Beautiful.
They have good credit scores. So it's real. And their mother was a drug addict. I made 20 years of that. So there's no, you know, it starts at home. If you know your child is running in these wrong groups and cliques and gangs, it's up to you to do something about it. Reach out to your law enforcement. Hey, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do with my son, my daughter. They're out there. They don't come home. They walk in the streets 3 o'clock in the morning. You have no business opening the door for them at that time. You come to my house the time in the morning, 911. My 15-year-old thinks they're coming through here. They got a place for them. You know, and maybe this will help cut down on all of these untimely deaths that's happening in these communities, you know, these underprivileged communities. It really starts at home because, believe you me, you would not want to wear the title of a parent of an angel child. So please do something about it, parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. We have one and a half minutes left, and we really appreciate you, Annette.
Thank you.
And appreciate what you have shared with us today. And we look forward to you coming back again as well, too. And we look forward to you sharing more knowledge of the things that you're doing with your organization and how you mentioned to collaborate with other organizations that's here in the district, that's here on the universe.
That's right.
That's here in the United States of America or in this region. And so we're very glad to hear that you have connections with those that's doing things in Canada and Alaska and down south as well, too. Because we need to get all types of information to allow for us all to be on the same page as how we can assist and help in our own local communities, in our own blocks, in our own state, how to assist to minimize this crime that's going on and what we can do better that we didn't do before. That's understanding our history of where we were before we had children. We were doing certain things. We know when we get time to get 13 years old, that means we can talk back. Yeah, you can only talk back to certain mother, but
That's right.
And so we know the absence of daddy in the home is very significant as well too. And so we have an opportunity now to be able to champion our cause and be able to make sure that we're going to be handling our business in our own communities. And I really want to thank you for being here today. Our time is up, and we're looking forward to making sure that people will get that book because they have to. It's a very imperative and essential that you understand you have a book as well too. And once you read hers, if you don't have your own, and always remember, we're looking for you to help out as well too. This is Brother Qaadir on Words Make People. Thank you for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum.
All right, Salaikum salam.